On today's episode, I've got 10 ways to make your home look more expensive for the winter months, and I'm doing a little twist on it this time, and I'm going to be throwing in an added element of using the 5 senses. I just thought that would be a fun little twist. And for today's episode, I want to quickly thank Best Buy for sponsoring it. I'm going to tell you about a really cool product that I got from them in just a second, but let's get right into our first category, which is sight. My idea for this is I really want to focus more on elements that can get you through not only the holiday season, but beyond into the winter months. So during the holiday season, I say go for the color scheme that you want in your home. But once the holidays are over, you can still leave up some of the pines and other elements that bring in that winter vibe, but maybe remove and neutralize your color scheme a little bit. So for example, if you do a traditional Christmas with reds and greens, maybe removing those colors, but leaving some of the pine elements and focusing more on creams and taupes or even rich jewel tones that are a little bit more neutralized. I know people that leave up their trees year round. If you want to do that, but maybe removing the tree, but maybe leaving up some of the garlands and some of the centerpieces that you did, but neutralizing them just a touch so that it's not so thematic and just invite some of the winter vibes through those types of greeneries. Because I do think that adding some of those garlands with the pine needles and all of that add a level of richness and warmth to the home, but we don't want to be like, oh, they just left up Christmas. So it's trying to find that balance of maybe removing the Christmas tree, but leaving up some of the garlands and neutralizing the decor. That's kind of where I'm going with this. And I hope that that makes sense. So for my second point, it's really kind of a twofer because I usually spend the bulk of my time talking about mostly sight items. And so I'm going to squeeze a couple of those in. And the first part of that is lighting. And that is through maybe you've got candlelight, maybe you've got some twinkle lights, and maybe you've got some firelight. And again, all of these ideas I think go beyond Christmas and the holidays, because I think you can still have some twinkle lighting up beyond Christmas holidays. So there is something to be said about a lot of mood lighting and bringing it in through flickering candles and fireplaces if you can, to add some of that mood lighting. Now typically I like daylight bulbs because I really like the bright lights, but maybe for the winter time it's okay to maybe switch out some of your bulbs to some softer lighting. It just creates a feeling of moodiness, and I really think that that amps up the feeling that comes in through the holiday season, but beyond as well into the winter months. Coupling that with lighting is adding in some metallic finishes that will bounce off that lighting. So bringing in some brushed brass or bringing in some items that reflect, and you can do this through candlesticks, you can do this through picture frames, you can do this through some accessories, and I think bringing in some of those metallic tones will really reflect off of the lighting nicely and really create this really wonderful ambiance for this time of the year. In the summertime, I'm not so worried about that. In the summertime, I'm all about like bright light and letting the sun in and all of that. But in the wintertime, there's a coziness that you want to bring in that does bring a sense of elegance in it. Okay, so this next one is a total bonus one because I have mentioned it in how to make your home look more expensive videos before, and that is just having a clean home. And I am so excited to have partnered with Best Buy to share with you Tyneco's Floor One S6 floor cleaning system. The best thing I've ever used for cleaning floors. That includes vacuums, even though this is not really meant for carpet. This is meant for hard surface floors. It is so cool. If you are tired of wasting time sweeping or vacuuming and then going back with a mop and bucket and mopping your floors or steaming them, you can get rid of all of those because this does it all. It sweeps, vacuums, mops all at one time, which means it saves you time and it does an unbelievable job. And one of my most favorite parts of it is it's self-propelled. And once it's on, you just tilt it back and it starts pulling you along, and it's so easy. There are no cords. This is battery operated, self-propelled, and you don't have to mess with plugging things in, moving it around. You can take it anywhere. The other really, really cool thing about this is it is self-cleaning. cleaning. I haven't really used anything necessarily like this before, but the closest thing that I could think of was a carpet cleaner, and those are such a pain to clean. And this all just comes apart so easily. You can easily dump out the excess dirty water. You can rinse it all out really easy. You can see on the bottom here, it looks kind of like a paint roller. You can pull that out so easy. It just comes out apart so simple. If you need to rinse out the shield of the roller, that's easily comes off. You can rinse that off. But what's even better, it will leave your floors looking so clean and so amazing. And that's important to me because my husband and sons all have dust and pet allergies. And so getting up all that gunk off the floor is super, super important. So I just absolutely love this. And you can get this amazing machine at Best Buy. You can either have it shipped to the store or shipped to your front door like I had it. You're gonna love it. This legit was so awesome, and it just did an incredible job. I don't need to mess with dirty brooms, dirty dustpans, and then pull out the mop and bucket. It just does it all for you in one easy, simple step. So if you want to check this out, I've linked it in my description box below. Just click on the link, it will take you right to it, and your house is gonna look so clean and nice this holiday season. It's just amazing. Now the next category is sound and hearing. For me, I love to play music year-round, but there is something really wonderful about the sounds of wintertime, especially leading up into the holiday season. So I've recently got a radio that had a record player, an MP3 player, and had so many options. So I have really been loving that. But also, I have found and featured on my channel in the past light bulbs that you can put in like a can lighting that has speakers in it, so you don't need to like hardwire anything. And you can just pick out some classy music to be playing maybe during your gatherings and even beyond to just kind of set the mood. I think it's all about moodiness for this time of year, definitely. So pick some music of your choice, something that's soothing, relaxing, and really invites peace and serenity in your home, that will really lift and elevate the way you feel about your home and the way others feel in your home. I think it's just a fun little added element, just a soft, subtle music in the background. I personally love that. And along with the music, of course, you've got to bring in, if you can, the crackling sound of a fire. So mine's an electric fireplace, and I don't really have it for heat purposes because I live in Florida. It really is all about the ambiance of it. I definitely turn it on way more in the fall and winter months to create that level of ambiance. And what's really cool about the fireplace that I have, and this is the case for this one as well as the one in my main floor, is it does have a option to have that crackling sound where it sounds like a real fire is roaring. And if you don't have a fireplace, then you can do the same thing on the TV with the crackling fire. You can find those on YouTube. To me, one of the coziest kinds of heats is a wood burning stove, and the sounds of it, the heat from it, it's so cozy, it's just wonderful. But there is something really nice about a crackling fire that just really elevates the feel of the home, brings that moodiness and that vibe that we're trying to bring this time of year. For those of you who don't actually have fire and can't have the crackling sound, just put it on your TV. It will give you a similar feel and get that ambiance going. So the next category is touch. Obviously for touch, it's all about layers and textures, where you've got furs and velvets and all of that, adding a layer of not only visual interest, but that touches on one of our 5 senses that we're trying to go for in this one, because again, I really do think it's an overall feeling in the winter months. There is something very nice about soft and cozy fabrics, textured layers that really elevates the feel and look of your home. And don't forget that you can layer your curtains, and that will not only add a layer of warmth to your home, especially in colder climates like when we lived in Maine, making sure you had nice warm curtains that you could pull and draw to keep that heat in your home. It was functional, but you can also make it beautiful. Make sure you invest in quality linens. I am all about pinching there and saving there, but also investing in some good quality things. And one place I really love to splurge is my bedding, because there's nothing more important than a good night's sleep, and I've talked about that in the past. But also consider that for in your living spaces where you're cozying up and having and spending family time, which is really one of the most important things this time of year. So just keep that in mind. Some of the places that I like to save are pillow coverings and maybe throw blankets and things like that, because I really feel like you can find really amazing items in those areas. And one of the biggest places to splurge is on bedding. And then in furniture, I always try to go on a more neutral palette and just bringing in some of that added interest and elements through those pillows and throw blankets and things that I just talked about. Okay, so the next category is scent, and one of the most obvious things that you could think of is a candle. And then obviously, like as we previously discussed, keeping your house like really clean smelling, that's always helpful. I know that's a struggle for me with having pets and things, you kind of fight that. So I really like having a candle, but also this time of year is a perfect time of year for simmer pots. I've talked about this on my channel before. I love doing simmer pots. I've done several recipes, and right now I want to share with you the Williams-Sonoma simmer pot that is meant for like Christmas winter time. So what you're gonna need for this is about 8 cups of water. You can eyeball this really. And then a half a cup of cranberries, 1 orange sliced up, 2 cinnamon sticks, and a half a cup of mulling spices that hopefully you can find at the grocery store. And then you can do a sprig of rosemary or a little sprig of cedar or pine if you have access to that. Maybe go clip some off a bush and do it that way. And you throw this all in a pot and you set it on low and simmer all throughout the day, and it smells divine. Now in the past when I've shared these simmer pots, I've had a lot of suggestions to do like a mini crock pot for it. So that is also a really good way that you don't have to keep refilling the water. You don't have to worry about it burning as easily and as quickly. But if you're like in a quick hurry, throwing a simmer pot on the stove, if you've got company over, is awesome. There's something that's really expensive and luxury about Williams-Sonoma simmer pots. If you ever go into their stores, it smells amazing. And I really love this recipe, and I hope that you love it in your home as well. Now we talked previously also about leaving up some of the greenery, and that goes for the scent as well. If you really love the scent of fresh pine, that really brings in a really nice aroma. But if you have allergies, you might have to look at other options for that. But just make sure that you're really aware of the smells that are in your home, whether it's through a simmer pot that's really natural and yummy smelling, or just even food. Food, you can never go wrong with food, right? And a clean home, of course. And there's lots of fun sprays out there that you can spray into the air. In some of my hack videos, I've shared a lot of fabric refreshers. I've shared some DIY cleaners that you can scent how you like, that smell amazing and are super affordable, and I can link some of those episodes below. So if you want to really control the scent of your home, you can do that through cleaning supplies, you can do that through candles, you can do that through simmer pots. There's lots of ways to make your home smell amazing, which will make your home feel more expensive, and there you go. Okay, so this last category is kind of a little bit out of the realm of what I typically do on this channel. I mean, I'll throw some stuff in my hack videos here and there, but that is taste. One of the ideas that I had is having a like hot beverage station that you have set up that maybe has different creamers and different toppings and all of the little extras that make it feel special. And this would be really particularly good if you're entertaining during these months. Even in Florida, it gets a little bit chilly during the winter, believe it or not. We will turn on our heat a time or two. But having a hot beverage station is just a nice thing to have available, particularly when you're having company, and with all of the fun toppings. I think that brings in the tastes and flavors. And then also I think like charcuterie boards are a way to bring in a level of elegance and opulence, and you can do that with cheeses and crackers and fun little chocolate. I've even heard a new trend of doing butter boards, so things like that really elevate the feel of your home, especially when you're having company over. It's just a fun thing to do as a hostess. I'll link a couple of videos below on inspiration like charcuterie type boards and butter boards. I'm also going to link an Instagram account of a friend of mine. She does some beautiful charcuterie boards, and you can follow her over on Instagram, and it might give you a lot of inspiration ideas. So go check her out if you're looking for some inspiration on that. I really love visually and aesthetically pleasing food. I will definitely be using that during my winter months and holiday entertaining. I have some amazing things coming up in the next couple of weeks. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you're gonna definitely wanna do that. I've got a massive room makeover coming up next week. It's amazing. You are going to die when you see it. It was a lot of work and it was so much fun to do. And the following week, I've got a huge secret announcement that you are gonna love. I'm super excited to share it with you. And it's not about power tools, so you're gonna wanna stay tuned for it to see what it is. I think you're gonna like it. And finally, don't forget to check out the Timeco floor cleaning system. It's amazing, it's super easy, it's awesome. You are gonna love it. And you can pick it up at Best Buy. So thank you to them for making this episode possible. And to you, of course, thank you for making this whole channel possible. And if you enjoyed this episode, here's another one that I think you'll like as well. And to all of my DIY goddesses out there, you are more powerful than you know. We'll see you next time. Bye.